Well, well, well. To those still standing, barely breathing, still haunted by the echo of your own collapse, I see you. And more importantly, so does the divine. You thought the silence was abandonment. You thought the stillness meant it was over. No. It was the pause before thunder. It was the inhale before the storm. And now comes the part they never prepared for. God is going to rebuild you, not quietly, not gently, but publicly, loudly, spectacularly. And in front of the exact same eyes that watched you break into dust, they watched you shatter and laughed. They were there, weren't they? When everything collapsed, when your voice cracked, when your knees hit the floor. Some stood in silence. Some whispered with venom. Some smiled. Yes, they smiled. When you were unraveling, gasping, drowning, they documented your destruction like vultures around a carcass. They didn't help. They studied. They noted every weakness, every scar, every stutter, every mistake you made while bleeding. But what they failed to realize is this. You were not dying. You were being witnessed. They thought it was a funeral, but it was only the first act of a resurrection. You were meant to break, so they could see the rebuild. God does not waste pain. He does not let wounds fester in secret. He rebuilds openly, with thunder in his hammer. You see, he wanted them to see you shatter, to memorize the moment they thought you were done, so that when you rise, when you walk back through fire that would kill lesser beings, there is no denying what was lost and what returned. Let them watch. Let them squirm. Let them blink twice, then a third time, wondering how you're still here, still breathing, still moving, unrecognizable, unreachable, untouchable. They don't recognize you anymore. That's the point. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're colder now, darker, distant. Of course, you were rebuilt by God, not by their apologies. You were reforged with silence, with betrayals, with nights you begged to disappear, and woke up anyway. They don't recognize you, because the version of you they destroyed no longer exists. And you know what the cruelest part is? They don't get to mourn it. They only get to watch what came next. Let them see it all. That's the judgment. This is not revenge. This is revelation. This is divine architecture, sculpted from everything they thought was a failure. They tore you down publicly. Now God will raise you publicly, right in front of them. Every new breath you take is a sentence in a holy poem. Every move you make is sacred choreography. And they are in the front row, chained to their own silence. The same mouths that mocked you, mute. The same eyes that watched you fall, now wide, haunted, reverent. Because what they thought was over is now becoming legendary. And you don't even need to look back. You won't go back for explanations. You won't seek closure. You won't offer reassurances to those who are comfortable with your ruin. Because when God rebuilds you, he removes your need to explain the fire to people who preferred your ashes. Let them live with the question. Let them wander the halls of their memory, searching for the moment it all shifted. The moment you slipped from casualty to prophecy. This is not the end. It's the gathering of sacred tools. Your foundation is being reset, brick by divine brick. Not because of what you lost, but because of what you carry. You are being reconstructed in the open for the world to see, so that every spectator becomes a witness, so that your enemies learn that divine power doesn't scream. It demonstrates. They watched you shatter? Good. Now let them watch what a God-forged being looks like when they walk through fire untouched, and build an empire from the very dust they tried to leave you in. You are not broken. You are becoming unforgettable. And this time, they don't get to look away. You were never meant to stay broken. That was their fantasy, not your fate. They thought you'd stay down, not because you were weak, but because they needed you to be. Your pain validated their cruelty, your silence protected their comfort, and your collapse made them feel like gods. So imagine their horror when you didn't stay dead. Imagine the screams inside their heads as you rose, slowly, silently, piece by piece, reforged by something not of this world, not their approval, not their permission, not even your old self, but by fire, by spirit, by decree. Because when God decides it's time, not even the grave can hold you. You weren't rebuilt to impress them. You were rebuilt to break the pattern. Let them watch, not for applause, not for revenge, but for education. You are the interruption. You are the glitch in their cycle of manipulation. You are the thing that refused to die, and now stands taller than ever, without needing anyone to validate your breath. You were not just rebuilt. You were redesigned to offend every system that tried to erase you. You're not here to fit in. You're here to prove they never understood what you were carrying. And the most terrifying thing, you're still calm. You didn't come back with rage. You came back with silence. And that is what scares them. Because they don't know what you're thinking. They don't know what you're planning. They don't know if you still bleed. And that silence, it's louder than their laughter ever was. You are the consequence. They didn't budget, for they thought the story was over, that they had won, that no one would remember the betrayal, the sabotage, the cruelty. But now, every time your name is whispered, they flinch. Every time your shadow appears, they question reality. Because you are living proof that God doesn't forget. And when He restores, He does it strategically, publicly, painfully, for them. He turns the scene of the crime into a cathedral of comeback and forces your enemies to pray, not for your failure, but for forgiveness, forever underestimating what He placed inside you. This is bigger than you. Now your comeback is not just about redemption, it's about legacy. You are the blueprint now. You are the myth. You are the reminder to every soul who's been lied on, broken down, left to rot in silence. Your story is the warning. You can destroy the person, but not the purpose. And if God has to rebuild that purpose in front of your enemies, so be it. To those who once whispered, "She's over," He's finished. No one's coming to help them. Let me remind you, God heard it all, and He's rebuilding the throne. With your names carved beneath it, He's crowning what you discarded. He's raising what you tried to bury. And He's doing it with thunder. So go ahead, watch the miracle, watch the reconstruction, watch the storm walk back into the room, smiling. Because this time, there's no version of you they can control, only the one they'll never forget.